So the motor sitting in front of me is my 1.6 liter that came originally on my Miata. My Miata had 22,000 original miles before it blew up. Today we're gonna take it apart, see what went wrong, and we're gonna turn this thing into a piece of art while we're at it. First, we're gonna start taking off everything top to bottom, seeing what actually caused the failure. I have a feeling it was oil starvation, but I don't know what kind or why. I did not read any sort of instructions or watch any sort of video about taking apart a Miata motor. I'm just gonna do things until I can't. That works, it just takes a lot of force.
Got a whole lot of problems stacking up. I don't cry about it.
I believe I should be able to take the head off with the intake on it. I shouldn't have to do it in two different parts, from my understanding. I also don't like how the smells have slowly become like more and more burnt oil the further I came. Originally it didn't smell like that, but the more I do this, the worse the smell's gotten. So
If I sell the catalog, I'm going private.
if this ever blows, I promise you guys right here and right now, you guys can clip it. I'm throwing a 13B in my Miata if it ever blows again. Because that 1.8 has way less issues than this 1.60. These 1.6 have like oil starvation and all sorts of things that can happen to them. So
Yeah, I'm up like 30,000 on my autopilot.
So we're gonna undo that bolt off the top of this, and then we should be good to go. For 14, I do remember that. It's the same one. Hopefully there isn't too much oil in here. I forget if I emptied out the oil when I took the motor out or if I left it. I forgot. All right, let's grab my mallet. Let's try to loosen this up. I could have taken off the manifold, but I have a feeling I should be able to remove this with the manifold. There we go. See, I knew I should be able to take it off. Okay, the cylinder walls in each one of these look really good and really smooth. There's no scoring, they feel really polished. It has to be the bottom end of this when we go down to the actual bearings on the bottom. I have a feeling that's what caused this. There is a little bit scorching on top of some of the cylinders. It does smell like burnt off excess fuel, so there was some kind of detonation, but I'll be honest, the cylinder walls are savable. The top of this motor is savable. I probably could have rebuilt this motor. I've been on stream. I appreciate everyone that's been in the chat today, but we took apart it. There is a lot of carbon buildup on both the valves and the actual pistons, but good news. So we put water on top of the valves to see if there was any bubbles that were forming, to see the fitting of it. There is a lot of carbon, but it doesn't seem like there is any bubbles forming. So we are probably good on the top end of the motor. It's the bottom end that I'm the most concerned about. So we're gonna flip this up, we're gonna clean it up so it doesn't rust long term, and then we're gonna continue to tear apart this motor. I'm still probably gonna turn it into a coffee table even though it's good. If at any point I wanna undo all of this and put it back together, I easily could. So that's the plan. I took off all the bolts holding on the pan, the oil pan. I'm gonna hammer it off. I'm gonna take off the oil pan because I think I'll get a flat fitment for whenever I actually put this as a table. There's a gasket all the way around it Oh, great. I missed one bolt. It's hiding in the corner. Let's see if it wants to come now. Somebody like my cars. There we go, it's out. Huh. Okay, now let's mallet it. Woo! Okay, this is where I have a sneaky suspicion that all of my damage happened. But when looking at it, the bottom of the oil feed, the starvation, to the bottom of the pan, the little pickup point down here, something that I'm noticing is that the block goes as far down as this little line goes. So one thing I cannot do if I'm gonna turn this into a table is I can't leave off the bottom of this and use this as the bottom of my table. I'm gonna need to put the oil pan back on, and I'm gonna need to, in some way, shape, or form, put a block or a stand of some kind as a spacer so that this can sit flat. So we're gonna have to put it back on, unfortunately. But I did remove the block because I was gonna make this sit flat. Also, I wanted to see what the damage was, why I blew, or why the 1.6 liter blew up. I'll be honest, I'm not seeing any damage. We could go into each one of the pistons and see if any of the bearings slipped, which is what I thought originally happened. But so far, I'm not seeing any immediate damage. Dude, there are streaks of just straight metal, and there's chunks of metal on the bottom. This motor is definitely cooked. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like literally visible streaks of metal where the oil is. So it is GG's.
They been selling lies, but I never bought it. Yeah, I can see the signs, so I'm staying quiet. Yeah, I'm up like.
Would you like to tell the people why we picked up this table?
I don't know, Sky's in it.
We have the extra motor from the Miata, and we've been tearing it apart and painting it. I'm gonna put it as a side table. We just picked up this piece of table and glass for 20 bucks. It is really nice. It has a tapered edge to it. Super beautiful piece of glass. So we're gonna be throwing this as the tabletop for our motor out of this car, the original one. And it's gonna go upstairs in the office. I didn't really show that much of the reassembly of this table, but I have a beveled glass I got of Facebook Marketplace for dirt cheap. And then we put back everything and reassembled the motor. So it has our powder coated valve cover. We painted the block as well as put on our Skunk 2 throttle body with our intake. I'll be honest, once the rest of the aesthetic of the space with like the lockers and everything I want to do to this space to make it feel like a comforting vibe place to come in, work on cars. The moment I get everything else in here, I'm telling you right now, this will make a lot more sense for the vibe.
Like 30,000, I'm an autopilot. Yeah, I know it. I'm not the type to call it.
Today we are going to be de-junkifying everything in this engine bay. And I'll be honest, this Miata has a lot going on. There is a ton of cruise control things, there is horns, which I technically on my Miata do not have a working horn. When I need a signal to people, I typically just rev it, which isn't great, but it is what it is. I don't really have a working horn. This overflow coolant reservoir on the left-hand side with the yellow and blue, I'm not in love with. This one is I think it's like a charcoal tank that helps vaporize extra leftover fuel and something like that. So what we're going to be doing is going through all of the unnecessary extra and condensing it down just to what we absolutely need. And this engine bay is going to get an absolute refresh as far as the look and the craziness of the mountain lines. I already have a pretty clean engine bay because I do not have power steering, I do not have AC, I don't have a lot of the essentials that a lot of Miatas have. So it is already cleaned up quite a bit, but I want to clean it up even more. I'm not going to go for a shaved look, I just want to go for a minimalistic look in my engine bay. Today, the very first thing I'm going to tackle is probably going to be the thing I know the least about. This right here is the cruise control feature. And this was an additional optional feature which wasn't offered in all Miatas. It is actually something which was a paid option and is kind of cool if you have it. Now, this is massive, and I'll be honest, never when I've driven my Miata have I wished, oh my god, I wish I could just cruise highway speeds. I'm always driving this thing on a canyon. I will never, ever wish I had cruise control features. Even on my cars, which I do daily drive, like my Charger, I never use the cruise control features in. So, we're going to delete this, and I'm going to show you guys how to do so. Now, these are super cool. These are Esred's collapsible and extendable socket wrenches. They're pretty sick, and they have 72 teeth inside of it. Super snappy response. I really enjoy these. These got sent to me, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the product, and I appreciate them giving it to me because it's made my job in the shop significantly easier. Like this one, I needed to be a little bit shorter. Bada bing, bada boom, it's done in 0.2 seconds. This next one is real tight. We'll see if I can get to it with this socket or if I have to go grab a different one. Also, dare I say, I think this is not even a 10 mil anymore. I think it switches halfway through. I think that is a 12. Let me go grab it.
Use a tragedy of my promotions. First you made a video and then you thought to post it like.
And so what I could do right now is there is like a cable, almost like a throttle cable, that goes into the back of this, and there's like a little rubber housing that it slips onto. And realistically, for this system, I could realistically try to remove this whole cable and line and everything. Don't think I will. I don't think it's worth the additional hole in my firewall to be able to have that be removed. All right, and the next one is pretty easy. This is literally just a connection that sat back there. I removed this. Once I put in my new steering wheel, my quick release, I never connected the wire to be able to make my horn work. Typically, if I need to connect, I just rev so people know I'm there. I know technically that's not what you're supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to have a horn, but for the sake of this, we're gonna proceed, and I'm gonna rock out with what I have. The ease of use of having no horn versus installing it, it was very complicated, so I just wanted to let it be clean and simple. And occasionally throughout this video, I am gonna turn on the car just to show and have a baseline of everything that I'm changing still allows the car to be able to turn on and function. I know it should theoretically, but it's always different in actuality.
Yeah, I'm over it. Me and the label to say something that'll coexist.
I'd have a pretty good mounting tab using this old connection, repurposing it to hold this. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
That'll coexist. Like, why would I give a portion of my ownership?
There is a little tab that sits back there, and what I'm gonna be doing is boring that out to be slightly larger, coming back through, and then mounting a bolt over the top of it real quick.
My ownership. When we both know it's about to cut and then you phone it in. I need a cabinet.
That's one thing that is now completed. And in the pursuit of perfection, we got that bolt mounted. It is now locked in place. I'm very happy with how that came out. The old bracket that used to be able to hold the bottom that no longer exists of the air intake is this bracket that sits right down here. So what I'm gonna do is I shall be removing this bracket. What I will do is I'll leave the bolts still in their home locations, just so I don't have to go back to it later and try to find some in case if I do want to mount and eventually like a supercharger or something like that over here, I now would have a place where I would easily be able to. This right here is a charcoal tank, and what it does is it takes evaporated fuel and makes it not smell as bad. The people that do remove this complain about the smell of gas and just a terrible smell in general. I'll be honest, we're gonna take it out anyways. This thing has a control unit that it goes to right over here. Again, it's a 10 mil. So this whole thing slots up. There is a little clamp that holds down this. There is an air line, which I can pull because I pulled out the other air line. I can remove this one. And there's a hose that's attached to the top of this. And I'm gonna go grab pliers to make that 10x easier. Little tab will make it easier to pull it. Then I have the canister, and there should be a connection on the bottom as well. Okay, that's that. Removed. There's a complicated bracket that holds on to this and a very complicated line. You can use one or the other from my understanding. I'm gonna grab my pliers, the longer one. I'm gonna try to remove so I can keep the shorter one so there's less to be seen. Both of those machines required a vacuum line, so I added an additional vacuum line that run all the way through to this thing. Now that I don't need either of the cruise control or the charcoal tank, we should be able to just remove this, and I have a airline cap instead that we'll be throwing on to replace this.
Like if I lost it all, give it 6 months, I'ma build it back up, back up.
So I got rid of the reservoir. I don't know where my battery died, so we got rid of this reservoir that's over here. I'm gonna be trying to mount it somewhere inside down here. We'll see how successful I am at that here in a minute.
I ain't going down, I'm standing tall. It don't really matter, I'ma keep my head.
Holy shit, I can't believe. So I was able to mount the reservoir down there. The good news is it won't block any airflow to the radiator. Dude, it looks so empty. This is fucking sick. I don't know if I'm gonna do that the windshield wiper fluid yet, but quite a bit done.